All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace, love, and salutation to all you occupants pushing this truth in truth and sincerity. This is 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Verse 3, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. And we're seeing more earthquakes and uproars of the people. And this lesson is just a continuation lesson that I did 2 weeks ago. You know, it's still uproars of the people in the country of Bolivia. Hey, 144, call I am Yahweh Shanal Shah. This is from June 20th. And we're at June 22nd. And, you know, Bolivia is in South America. All right, it's basically a landlocked country. You know, and this is where the tribe of Asher, all right, you indigenous people, all right, from Colombia down to Uruguay, all right. Now, Chile and Argentina, that's the tribe of Naphtali, all right. We all know the world famous Lionel Messi is from Argentina. He's from the tribe of Naphtali. And, you know, you got this World Cup going on. You got countries like, you know, Venezuela, that's the tribe of Asher. Colombia, they're in the World Cup. Ecuador, they're in the World Cup. Paraguay, they're in the World Cup. Brazil, of course, is in the World Cup. Can't forget about Brazil. Uruguay, they're in the World Cup as well. All right. So you still got these uproars of the people, even though the World Cup is going on. You know, it's a lot of distractions that are going on. There's nothing wrong with watching soccer, you know, but the main thing is paying attention to prophecy. Matter of fact, let's get this precept right quick before I get this article, because that's the main thing being in this ministry. All right, the prophecy. All right, end time prophecies to let us know that we're on the way up out of this captivity under Esau, Edom. So this is Ecclesiastes 39 and 1. Sirach, known as Ecclesiastes chapter 39 and 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecies. And that's going to be a telltale sign between, all right, the true prophets and those guys who are just shucking and jiving. Those guys that always got gimmicks. You know, they got they're roller skating with fringes. They're doing cumbia dances with fringes on, wearing all black, or they're wearing purple, marching through your local city. You know, you got community service Israelites that can pick up trash in these neighborhoods. They have fashion shows at the Passover. That's not what you want to pay attention to. You want to pay attention to these prophecies, these uproars of these people. People are fed up with the current governments all around the world. All right, but these other Israelite camps, they're stuck in folly. All right, so you have to be occupied in prophecies. You have to see what's going on around the world. All right, if you consider yourself a watchman for the Heavenly Father, then you have to watch these end time prophecies, and namely the last two major ones. I say the last three: the mark of the beast, It's the RFID microchip. It's not sin or Christianity. Okay? World War III and the return of our Lord Yahweh Shah. That's the biggest three prophecies. But these prophecies, uproars of the people, these are telltale signs that the Lord is coming back. So it says Bolivia on edge after Paz declares emergency to clear protest gridlock. And let's just get this article. I don't know what happened with it, but let's go. It's right here and type it up. All right, it says 2026 Bolivian protests. Mass demonstrations and strikes in Bolivia began in May 2026. Led largely by miners, they were joined by teachers, farmers, and other workers. The protests were sparked by a law allowing land to be used as collateral for loans against the backdrop of a wider economic downturn in Bolivia. Let's go to Wikipedia. It says, the protests were sparked by a law allowing land to be used as collateral for loans against the backdrop of a wider economic downturn in Bolivia. Although President Rodrigo Paz annulled the law on May 13th, protests continued to spread. The scope of the protests also expanded, with workers demanding higher wages, labor reform, and Paz's resignation. And that's really the case with a lot of these uproars of people. It's over the cost of living, really. It's hard to make a living everywhere, around the world. All right. There's quotes, quotes you get from the internet. They were saying, here in America, you working an average job is just not gonna get it, really, man. You can't. Most of these states, man, you can't rent a 2-bedroom apartment with the pay that you got. So imagine this everywhere. So it says beginning on May 14th, protesters detonated explosives and clashed with police around the presidential palace. Roadblocks also escalated, putting the cities of La Paz, El Alto, and Cochabamba under siege, effectively isolating the cities and preventing essential goods from reaching them. So, it says they were under siege and people weren't able to get food. All right, I got a precept in 2nd Ezra 15. These people weren't able to get items and goods. Now imagine that coming here, which it is coming here. All right, it's coming here to the shores of Babylon the Great. There's going to be all types of roadblocks and setups when these draconian measures come into fruition. All right, when they come into play. When the powers that be, it might be Nero. All right, we'll see. All right. So let's get that 2nd Ezra 15. Nero 47. He's off his rocker right now, man. But people as a whole, they're fed up with their local government. All right, and this is what they're going to be doing according to the Bible. So like I said, these other guys that are shooking and jiving, these other guys that say that Latinos ain't Israelites, don't listen to them, man. All right? Don't listen to them black-only Israelites because they don't have the spirit of prophecy, man. Those Israelites that say we're going to be saved by the law, don't listen to them as well. Them Israelites that say you got to wear your fringes everywhere you go, don't listen to them guys, man. They're not giving you sound doctrine. They're not even prophesying. 2nd Ezra 15. Let's start at verse 14. 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Woe means destruction. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. There's going to be all types of different factions fighting each other. All right, all around the world, but really here in Babylon the Great. All right, you got we've been prophesying about a civil war. All right, through the Bible in various passages like Isaiah the 19th chapter. All right, there's going to be a civil war here. They just made a movie about it, but a lot of people ain't going to be no civil war here. When I talk to these Edomites, they know that it's coming. They know for a fact that a civil war is coming. The average to-do Edomite, they know that something is coming down the pipeline. It's just that you blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans, you got your head in the sand. You don't know what the hell is going on, man. It's just another day here in America. All right, you just looking for the next barbecue. All right, the next turn up, so to speak. When these Edomites, these so-called white people, they know that something is coming down. And these other people in these other countries know that something is going on with their countries, man. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. All right. They want the president of Bolivia to step down. All right. They're not having what he's saying. And invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. All right, so let's get this word sedition real quick. And that's what's going on. All around the world, people are just tired and fed up with the government. We know the true government, the true order is going to be established when the Lord comes back. Right now, it's chaos under Esau Edom's rule. Under this beast system, there's all types of chaos, all right? Because he's unfit to rule. You can't see that Esau Edom isn't fit to rule, all right, with oppressing the people, declaring his righteous decrees all across the world, really. And then what does he want to do? He wants to put the mark of the beast into you. So this is sedition. Sedition is the act of exciting rebellion or promoting resistance against an established government. And that's what's going on up there, down there in Bolivia and all these other countries. I believe there's still uproars of the people protest in Kenya over these Ebola facilities. Ireland, this month, you had these anti-immigration protests where it was an immigrant, he so-called stabbed somebody out there, and man, it led to the local people, taking to the town and burning some of these places where the immigrants live at, man. We're in some high times, man. All right, but what do we get? We get the backlash on the internet every time it's some black person talking about, them Hebrew Israelites, them niggas crazy, this, that, and the third. We're telling you what's really coming down the pipeline. And that's on you, all right? Because you're going to know that a prophet had been among you when they start locking you people up and sending you to these internment camps. Then you're going to know that you done effed up and you should have took heed to what them brothers were saying on those street corners. Because this is what we're telling you. It's a high time of danger. All right, these other countries it's gonna shift westward. Okay, just because you see the World Cup here and everything, and it looks like shits and giggles. Excuse my Brazilian Portuguese. You don't see the danger. You don't see that ISIS still out here. All right, you don't see the cost of living going up. You don't see the love of many waxing cold. You must be in the congregation of the dead. 2 Ezra 15 and 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That's martial law. Wait, hey, they're saying by July the U.S. is running out of oil. They're running out of, the oil reserves are getting tapped. So what is that going to affect? Travel. All right, you black women won't be allowed to go just travel from city to city and do your madness, or any of you people won't be able to go travel when these airlines, we don't have enough gas. You won't be able to even go down the street in that time. This is what we're talking about. All right, you're not going to be able to just get up and go to the next city or get up and go to the next state. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid. All right, but us in the know-how, we know what's going to happen. These cities are going to be troubled because of the pride. What is it, Pride Month? Everybody, here it is, everybody's broke, but people just still prideful. Like they just got it going on. Like they just got it all figured out. People still flexing on YouTube, talking about how to make $1 million. All right, what happens when the money goes digital? So you people aren't considering what's going on, except for the brothers and sisters that listen to these lessons, who believe in Yahweh Shemal Shah. And that's really who the lessons are for. All right, these people out, these jakes out here, man, that's on them. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. And that's just starting out small. You know, you might live in one of these subdivisions, man. What happened when the food run out, man? People gonna start pulling kick doors on their neighbors for the lack of bread. It happened in 70 AD. There's no new thing under the sun. But shall destroy their houses with sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, the lack of food. All right? Lack of fuel production equals no gas in these truckers' tanks, and they can't bring food to Kroger or Publix or Rouse or Food for Less or whatever bread and basket store, Sprouts, Whole Foods. They won't be able to deliver. It's going to be great tribulation out here. So these little countries that you think is insignificant is slowly moving westward. All right, so continuing on. It says, during the protest, Bolivia's labor minister, defense minister, and education minister resigned. By June 9th, 10 people had been deleted and 365 arrested in connection with the protests. So it says the methods were demonstrations, riots, civil resistance, civil disobedience, blockades, vandalism, strike actions, ambushes, occupation, looting, arson. So they just getting it in down there in South America, in the country of Bolivia. It says Bolivia's economic crisis resulting from declining energy production and a shortage of United States dollars is the worst in the country for decades. The country experienced widespread fuel shortages, and that's what's coming here. So you're gonna, the same stuff you see in these countries that you think is third world, it's coming here. The United States is damn near a third world country, man. Even Jesse Ventura, the former governor of Minnesota, said that the United States is third world bound. All right, and that's the spirit that they got the World Cup here, because you know you think of the World Cup, they be having in these so-called third world countries. There's no different here. There's going to be fuel shortages here. It's going to be blackouts here. It's going to be a lack of bread here. And we're going to have to depend solely on our faith, not keeping the law. All right, now we do rehearse the righteous acts. All right, but at the end of the day, it all goes back to your faith and Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai. All right, and the Lord lifting up a standard for His believers, His followers, His servants. So it says a presidential decree in December 2025 ended national fuel subsidies, causing much higher gasoline prices. I mean, that's happening here in the Estados Unidos, right? President Rodrigo Paz was elected in October 2025 after campaigning for economic reform. And what they always do this, yeah, we're going to get the country back rolling. No, this current system is about to be thrown out, all right? Which we know it's going to fail under Esau trying to perform his so-called enterprise, his so-called NWO. All right, these current systems, they're going to get thrown out. So they're basically, these governments, and man, are just letting these countries go by the wayside. So this new world order, all right, I'm going to say it like that, can be established, man. But we know that's going to come to naught, all right? The 2026 Iran war also contributed to the pressure of the country's economy. And you see that happening around the world, man. All right? So let's go to 2 Ezra 15 and close it out from the top. 2 Ezra 15 and 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. All right, which is to say before, telling you these end time events. Like I said, with these other camps, man, don't get caught up in the gimmicks and in the feel goods, man. All right. All around the world, it's uproars of the people and earthquakes. There's gonna be more earthquakes. Okay, with that ultimate earthquake being in the form of those intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. That's the great earthquake mentioned in Revelation 11. But speak thou in the ears of my people, these Israelites, all right, these so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and the Israelites that are scattered across the world. Because there are going to be Israelites that look like so-called white people, look like so-called Arabs. You got Israelites that look like Africa over there in Nigeria due to 70 AD and Israelites going into Africa after the persecution of 70 AD and the siege of Jerusalem in 70 AD. All right, this isn't a pro-black back to Africa movement, man. All right, we're scattered. And then you could tell, going back to this World Cup, I keep mentioning the World Cup. You watch these teams. You got a lot of Israelites on them soccer teams, like Mbappe. He's from Cameroon, but he's an Israelite. All right, you can tell. All right. So it says we're supposed to speak unto you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and you ones that are scattered amongst these other countries, the words of prophecy, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Because you're not getting no prophecies from the Quran. There's no prophecies in the Quran. There's no prophecies in the Book of Mormon. There's no prophecies in the Book of the Dead. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Yeah, because there's a lot of non-believers. Even in the midst of all this chaos, people still not believing. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So, hey, we're supposed to inquire how the righteous shall be saved. All right, these people, man, they're going to get plowed under, especially here in America. All right, because we've been warning these people, man. Here it is, we're giving a warning every single day. A brother's doing a lesson about prophecy. If he's not, he's going to the history. He's going to the Hebrew. He's going to the Hebrew, how to properly say the name of the Lord. And that's another thing with these other camps, man. Don't believe these camps that say, oh, we don't know the name of the Lord, or they're still calling on Jesus Christ. That's another red flag. Don't be listening to these guys that say Christ this, Christ that. Now we say Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. We don't go around saying Christ. I don't really like saying that word, but I'm just saying it for the sake of the lesson. Don't listen to these other camps calling on Jesus Christ. Verse 5, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. And we'll start, this is about to be the beginning of sorrows. The sword, all right, what do you do with the sword? You put people under. And people getting put under out here, and it's going to amplify, all right, famine, lack of food. You know, you got these people that's coming here from these other countries in the World Cup. They like Wendy's and McDonald's. All this defiled food over here that's got people fat. So you got useless eaters all over the world, man. You got these people from the World Cup trying to sneak ranch back to their country when they get done watching their team play in the tournament. But what happens when there's nothing out here? There's no morsel of bread. There's going to be a famine of the word as well. Death and destruction. That's what we're going to see here play out. Like that song says, let the bodies hit the floor. That's what we're going to start to see here. Why? For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth. Look, it's Pride Month. Like last night, I was trying to watch I'm going to say it like this. I was trying to listen to a song last night, and then the commercial came on with a man dressed in drag and other men with man, but they were. It was basically one of them transmissions, and some zesty men promoting some drug, some prep drug. There's just too much wickedness going on out here, man. That's just one reason why the Lord got to burn this place with fire, according to the Bible. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and the hurtful works are fulfilled. That's why the guy in the Bible is bringing all this judgment and chaos. So it's still going on in Bolivia, but best believe it's going to shift up north to North America. So with that, Lord, when this was edifying, I'm going to say shalom.